It comes as no surprise to the people in this room because you all know the story, and that's why you're standing here in support. But for those that do not know, the reason we're here today is because a serial arsonist was out on the streets here in our communities in Sullivan County. And like so many of the brave men and women who stand here behind me, and the many others who are not standing behind me who protect this community, our volunteer firefighters were called into duty. They were called in the line of duty on January 15th of this year to fight a structure fire just up the street here in nearby Monticello. Billy Steinberg was one of those brave firefighters. Bear in mind, these firefighters who stand behind me are not paid. They get paid nothing, but they serve their communities because they love their communities. And Billy Steinberg, just like all the men and women here, loved his community deeply. And he was with his brothers and sisters in the fire service, fighting a fire up the street here, and died, again, in a fire that was set by a serial arsonist. This is an individual who'd been previously arrested for felony arson right here in Sullivan County, including an arrest for felony arson on January 14th, one day, just one day, before Billy Steinberg was lost in the line of duty. So the bill that we've entered here today came to me from my friend, Jim Steinberg, Billy's dad, who you all know, who stands behind me. And shortly after all of us, so many of us in this room, stood on that very, very cold January morning in Broadway and paid our final respects to Billy, Jim called me and said, "Mike, we can never let this happen to a firefighter again. Here's what we need to do." In the law today, because of the dangerous bail reform provisions that were passed in 2019, serial arsonists are immediately released back onto the streets to do the things that you see that we're talking about right here in this case. And Jim said, "Mike, how can we prevent it?" So we got our heads together and we authored a bill. The bill's very simple. What the bill does is it takes all felony charges of arson, including arson in the 3rd and 4th degree, and it makes those offenses subject to bail. So the judges can do exactly what Aileen said. This morning you're going to hear from our district attorney and our sheriff on this very issue. But what's most important to understand is that our judges need tools to incarcerate people that put our volunteer firefighters at risk. And that's exactly what this bill will do. So we worked very quickly last week, authored a bill. I've entered and sponsored this bill in the Senate. My friend and colleague Aileen sponsors this bill in the Assembly. And we're here today to draw attention to this important matter and ask for your help. Because we need your help to make sure we get this bill passed. We need to bring this bill to our governor's desk, and our governor needs to sign this bill this year before we lose another firefighter. So without further delay, it is my honor to